trying to make it all make sense.
The
More
You
No
Podcast.
Today I want to share something that I heard the former UFC light heavyweight and heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier say. I think it's really important and I think it's really valuable to share with you. And what he said was that kids do what they want and men do what they're supposed to. And while he said men, this is a concept that's not gender specific. So this quote is pretty self-explanatory, and what it means is that those who act like adults, either men or women, are those who do what they're supposed to do, fulfilling their obligations and focused on always doing the right thing, even if they don't necessarily want to. And kids, they just simply do whatever they want. So there's countless examples of this in our society, and I think that honestly, more than not, whether you're a child or an adult, more people than not act like kids, and very few people are focused on doing what they're supposed to do. The first example is the rampant amount of flaking and canceling in our society currently. In my opinion, smartphones, social media, and other forms of computer-mediated communication have really motivated people to act like kids and do what they want rather than doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to fulfilling obligations. So many people flake on obligations, so many people cancel plans they have, even at the last minute. This is a clear example of someone doing what they want to do rather than what they're supposed to do, which is to fulfill their obligation of whatever they made plans or arrangements surrounding. In my entrepreneurial journey over the past couple years, it's really opened my eyes and I've been in real amazement at the amount of people who flake on plans and cancel meetings and everything of that nature. I had thought that, as this quote kind of led to, that that's something that kids did and adults understood that when they make plans, they need to fulfill those plans because it's what they're supposed to do. That's clearly not the case. Something else that somewhat surrounds flaking and canceling that goes on more often than flaking and canceling is showing up late. And this is another clear example of acting like a child, doing what you want to, rather than acting like an adult and doing what you're supposed to do. I can't tell you how many times in my entrepreneurial journey over the past couple years, whether it be a phone call, video chat, or in-person meeting, the other person shows up late. To be honest, more times than not, the other person is late. My father is the biggest inspiration in my life, and he always made a clear example that you need to do what you're supposed to do because it's the right thing to do, whether you want to or not, and instilled the principles surrounding fulfilling your obligations and doing what you're supposed to do at a very early age. And with this being said, no matter the meeting, how big or small, I'm always there at least 10-15 minutes early, if not earlier. The next thing that people do where they act like kids and do what they want rather than doing what they're supposed to do is not preparing. Lack of preparation not only hinders the level of success that you'll have in any endeavor, but it's also inconsiderate, whether that be inconsiderate to your team, the other person, the audience, or whoever it may be. People simply don't prepare because they don't feel like it. They don't care to do so, and with that being said, this is another example of acting like a kid rather than acting like an adult and doing what you're supposed to do. The next thing that surrounds people doing what they want rather than what they're supposed to do has to do with doing the right thing. Many people understand what the right thing to do is in a situation, but choose to do something else, and they're choosing to do the wrong thing, typically out of some sort of selfish nature or impulse. And at the end of the day, this also regards acting like a child, doing what you feel like, rather than an adult doing what you're supposed to do. And this also applies to taking advantage of other people, as well as using people to try to get ahead, and other things of that nature. This is something that's really important to understand, and it's really important to focus on doing what you're supposed to do, doing the right thing in the present moment, because that's not only what adults do, but if you don't do that, you will never live a life of significance. Living a life of significance surrounds doing the right thing and continually doing so for prolonged periods of time. If you want to live a life of significance, Understand that life isn't about doing what you want to do. Life's about doing what you're supposed to do and doing the right thing. So no matter how old you are, whether you're a kid or an adult, remember that kids do what they want to do and adults do what they're supposed to do. I hope this talk makes a positive impact in your life. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening or watching it. Check out other episodes, leave a review, and follow us on social media at More You Know Pod. Also, please don't forget about our sweepstakes. Retweet a clip with the hashtag The More You Know and New Podcast from our Twitter for a chance to win a signed copy of my upcoming book, The More You Know, coming this fall. Tag 2 friends in the comments on a clip on Instagram for a chance to win a brand new copy of Dean Graziosi's Millionaire Mindset or Ed Milet's Max Out. Like us or share a clip on Facebook for a chance to win a book I have read that highly inspired me, signed by me with an inspirational message. Again, thank you for listening as we propel with podcasting through the More You Know.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The
More
You
No
Podcast.